My name is Boris Johnson, and you're watching Let's Chat with Courtney Hall.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to a great episode of Let's Chat with Courtney Hall, because I have a special guest in the building, Boris.
How you doing? Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Let's chat.
Thank you for coming. So whenever I came to the studio, to do my interview with you on the radio, and you said you were going to come on my show, I was just like, he's just talking, but you're actually here.
I definitely try to keep my word. I'm very busy, but if I see somebody, and you had definitely a great energy, so I was like, you know, you supported us. I definitely like to support you on what you're doing, and
well, thank
I'm hoping
you
for the best.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so you're a comedian.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're awesome on the radio.
Yes.
So talk about your comedy. How did you get into that?
Comedy, I was actually dared to do comedy one time, and friends was like, you ain't gonna do it. I was like, well, if I do it, y'all better show up. And then I thought maybe 5 people will show up. And then I never really pursued it, but one night a lady named Brenda Walkers, who added me on Facebook, she was like, hey, you pretty funny on Facebook. You want to do comedy? And I was like, well, I'll do it. She gave me 10 tickets to sales, like, hey, just sell these, you know, bring the money back to me, whatever. I sold them 10 tickets to like one person. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else, like, I ended up selling almost 120 tickets for my first show. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with this.
Wow.
And that's how I got in.
120 tickets.
Yes, and we was in a very small club, so it was like standing room only, and all the people from school came. They buying bottles and stuff, and we just turned up and had a good time. So that's how I got into it.
So you have a real good support system.
Oh, yeah. I definitely had a great following, because I like to support people in what they do, and, you know, they reciprocate that same energy. So, you know, I got a pretty good following here in the city.
Yeah. So what does support look like to you? Because some people think, okay, well, if you're not buying my things, then you're not supporting me. But what does it look like to you?
Well, I have a day job, so support is just, if you can't make it to the show, like you may have kids or something like that. If you can't make it, share the flyer. If you can make it, show up. If you only got $5 and it's a $10 ticket, let me know. I'll meet you halfway. I just want you to come have a good time, because laughter is just good for the soul. So support is anything you do to bring energy, positive energy my way. I consider that support. You don't really have to be in the place to support me.
Now, you talk about positive energy. How important is it to really be connected to your audience during a performance or a comedy show?
Connection with your audience starts from the time you wake up that morning, because people see you on your social media, so they're looking forward to the show. You make sure you're being active. When you walk in the door, a lot of times fans may be there before you, and they know who you are. Speak to them. Don't just go straight to the green room and lock into your set. Like, sometimes, you know, get that picture before, because if the show's packed, they won't be able to take a picture at the end, because it'll be so many people lined up. So you start the time you wake up, just rocking with people and having a good time, and that energy is going to translate to the stage, and eventually you're going to have a great set. If people know they're cool with you, they're going to want to laugh with you. So
yeah. Now, tell me your favorite show that you've done thus far.
My favorite show, I was a part of a group called LMAO 2K Comedy, and we actually did our own show at the Improv and sold it out. It was oversold, as a matter of fact. I think the Improv holds about 450, and we probably had almost 600 people in there.
Are you serious?
We was just rocking out and having fun.
Yeah.
So that was probably my biggest show that I did myself. As far as being booked for a show, my favorite show I did was I opened up for Michael Blackson down in Mississippi.
Nice.
And we did that at the Coliseum. That was like 900 people.
How was he? Like, how was Michael?
Oh, yeah, he's cool. Like, you would think, like, certain comedians, you would think they'll put themselves in a box and step away, but it was like backstage, like we was brothers. We on Facebook Live going at it, talking trash, cracking jokes on each other. Oh, DC Young Fly was on that show, too.
Nice.
And he's just as silly as anybody I've ever met. So
I feel like he's just as silly on camera, you know, off camera as well.
Man, DC is a young guy doing his thing, and he drops a whole lot of gems behind stage and it's cool, because normal people wouldn't get it, but comedians, it's like a lot of inside stuff that he's saying, and he's just hilarious. And Mike's the same way. So yeah, that was probably my favorite show that I got booked on.
Wow. Okay, so talk about your radio show that you're on.
Oh, definitely. Love the Jam Radio. Shout out to Miss Lovey. She's a black owner, owns the entire station, and she loves independent music and hip hop. I do a show on Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. called Real with Rillos. I interview models, actresses, actors, anybody, poets, painters, anybody who wants to come in and talk about what they do. I interview them. They come in, they play, and sometimes I have a guest host who just wants to talk and chit. And we just laugh and have a good time. So we just keep it real. And a lot of people have their point of view, but when they hear me speak my point of view, my morals are Christian morals. So I'm based on, the Bible. Anything I say, my foundation is the Bible. So a lot of times they are thinking one way, and when they hear me say something, it's like, what? Where you get that from? And then I can show them that foundation and why I said it. I'm not perfect, but I do have a solid foundation.
Yeah, and you talk about, having a Christian background. How is it being a Christian and being in the industry?
It's
totally opposite.
It's actually fairly easy. My dad's a pastor, and he was never one of those guys who just forced it on you. He allows you to be yourself, and he makes an adjustment to you. So being in this industry, nothing's changed. Like, people, if you just provide that good energy, then it's just another job.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So which one would you do, or which one do you prefer to do? Either comedy or being on the radio show? Or do they kind of provide something different to you so you can't really choose?
Well, both of them, I'm just being myself, so it don't really seem like, even when I'm on a radio show, we're laughing and stuff like that because I'm just being myself. On comedy, it's more of a structured type of being myself, so I get to kind of monitor myself while I'm on that stage. So both of them, I like both of them. It's none above the other. I just like making people laugh.
Okay. So are you this calm on a normal day? Because I say that when I was on the radio show, you were hilarious, you were funny, and then now you're just like, you're the calm Boris.
Well, I'm chilling today because it's an interview. People want to get to know who I am,
exactly.
and we're chatting, so I have to chat right now.
Exactly. Yeah. No. There was one interview that I did. He was super funny, super hilarious. He wasn't a comedian, but he was just definitely, funny throughout. So I feel like it's really interesting to see you as an entertainer, and then to kind of see you, as the human being. And people love that. Like you said, people want to see who you are. They want to connect to you. So I think that's pretty cool. It just shows a lot about you.
Well, you're getting the good side of me because normally I'm playing all the time. I'm joking. Everything's a joke. So I went to church this morning, got my mind right.
Right,
said,
and then you came here.
I'm be focused today.
That's why I do this on Sundays, so people can get their mind right.
Yeah, you got to give me today. And she interviewed me tomorrow, though. I can't make no promises.
Right. So. Okay, so what would you say to younger individuals that want to come up and be comedians?
I would encourage them to keep trying. A lot of times they're afraid to reach out to some of the guys who've been doing it a little longer than them. But just tell them who you are, what you want to do. Put that energy out there that you're interested. Support them in what they do. Support the DJs. If you got a DJ that play a lot of music you like, support that DJ because that might be your DJ when you're opening up for a comedy show. So just reach out. Like me personally, I've gotten so many people into comedy, and they've done shows all over the United States just because they hit me on Instagram and said, hey, I saw some of your comedy on YouTube. You were funny. How can I get into comedy? And now we've been to New York, California, all over, just doing all kind of stages. So just reach out. And if you're afraid to reach out to your favorite comedian, reach out to me. I'll connect you. I'm not one of them people who hold contacts.
Yeah.
Hey, if I can bless you or you can bless me, let's do it. Let's network. Let's make it happen.
Right. What are you doing for your community?
As far as my community, you'd be surprised at all the different things I actually do. In the summer, I work with the youth. I host the Summer Olympics down in NRG, and we basically bring in all these summer programs, and we feed them lunch, and we provide them with entertainment. And a group called Adorable Attitudes, they've been doing, two young twin girls, they've been doing their dance thing for a while, so they get out there and they entertain the people. So that's definitely pretty cool because I'm on stage. Then I come off stage and I get to see all the kids, and they're like, hey, that's the guy that was on stage. He's right next to us. And I'm high-fiving them and stuff like that. So I try to stay active with the kids. And then dancing, and if I can't dance, but
you can't.
But my daughter's like a cheerleader, and she loves this new TikTok thing. So I try to support her and her friends with that, and they make movies, so I try to make sure I tell them, hey, when I was watching this, you didn't do this right, so you may want to put more, just try to educate our youth and make sure that they're doing things the right way. I host a Miss Black Houston pageant.
Nice.
That's normally at TSU, so that's a pretty big thing. A lot of the girls are just coming out of the high school, so it's good to kind of give them nuggets on what they can do to improve or what they see. And it's kind of, you could tell it's a different reaction coming from a man, because they like, why you say that, or how'd you know that? But I've been doing this for years, so I want to see y'all do y'all best on that stage. So it's kind of, it's encouraging to them, but to see them transition into womanhood while they're on stage is encouraging to me. So
nice.
That's some of what I do for the community.
Now, knowing everything that you know now, what would you say to your younger self?
My younger self, I would when I started off, I struggled a lot with my timing on stage. So I would tell my younger self, just be patient, wait on God, it's going to come. So a lot of times I just wanted to be on this show, be on that show, just jump on the stage, but I would have told myself to be patient because it's coming.
Are you from here?
Yes, ma'am. Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay. For some reason in my mind, I was just like, is he from Louisiana? Is he from Houston? That's cool.
Just
Born and raised?
Louisiana girls is what does that to you.
Okay. So how do you like being in Houston? How do you like the culture out here?
I love it. It's a lot of people complain about traffic and this and that, but I've been here 32 years. I know how to get to where I need to go without hitting all that traffic. And I'm on the north side. It took me about 20 minutes to get here. So, I love it in Houston. It's so much opportunity. It's so much work. And I love my job. So a lot of times in Houston, I'm a comedian and I'm a salesman, but I'm telling jokes while I'm selling stuff because it's so many people in the city. So it's a great place to build a fan base and sustain a fan base and, just grow who you are as a person.
How is the support amongst the Houston comedians?
The Houston comedians is real divided. I stay to myself for the most part, but a lot of them will reach out to me for different things or shows and this and that. But it's pretty divided.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Because a couple people, they have groups they like to stick to, which is fine because, that's their energy. That's the energy that they're attracted. It's just the laws of attraction. So it's not a negative thing. It's just we understand, like, hey, y'all rock together. Y'all do y'all shows together. And I'm completely fine with that because one day I might have to do a show by myself. So.
Right.
And then I can always reach out to them and say, hey, I got a show. It pays such and such. Y'all want to be a part of it. And so I'm not divided from everybody else, but you can see the different groups and who's doing what. So
yeah. What do you think about people on Instagram doing like these, videos, these comedy skits? Do you think that it takes away from the person who's actually on the stage doing it, or what do you think about that? Because I hear mixed reviews. Some people, they bash them, and I'm like, wait, I have friends. And then some people, they're like, hey, that's just their lane. So what do you think about it?
Funny is funny. I don't care how they're getting that funny to you as long as they're being funny. A lot of people feel like they're stepping on toes because they're internet comedians and they can't get to the stage, and they get on stage and they don't do as well. But when I started, I didn't do as well on stage as I would have liked to do. So if that's their lane, allow them to stay in their lane. If you be yourself and be 100 with yourself, it doesn't matter what they're doing because you're 100 with yourself, and that's the only person you need to impress, yourself.
Are you married?
No, ma'am.
Are you single?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Ladies, he's not single.
Sorry, ladies.
Sorry. But anyway, so what do you think about having, a relationship in this industry? Like, is it a problem?
Well, no, because, like I said earlier, my foundation, I have a Christian foundation, so that translates into the industry. I'm not out here trying to see who I can go home with after the show or do this and do that. I stay to myself. I got great parents who set that foundation as well, so I'm not out here looking for the next thing. So
when are you getting married?
I'm really not in a rush. Whenever God tells me to.
Okay.
That's always the best answer.
Right, I know.
Can't argue with God. Get him on the main line real quick.
No, but thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for coming out. No, but when are you going to perform next so we can support?
I'm working on a show in May. I got a radio show May 17th. We usually do shows about 2 weeks after my big radio show. So it'll probably be towards late May, Memorial Day or something like that. But I'll make sure I get you some free tickets. Get your camera guy free tickets.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to come have a good time. So.
And I'm sure they will. Where can we follow you and find you?
You can follow me on Facebook at Boris Johnson. You can find me on Instagram at Comedian Rillos, and that's RILLOS. Or you can always check Love the Jam Radio, www.love2jamradio.com, and I'll be there.
Yes, and tell us again when you're on the radio.
My show is on Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. It's called Real with Rillos. We just keep it real. We allow anybody to come in, hop on the radio, and do their thing. As long as you keep it real, you're welcome to come out and have a good time with me. And we also do a show on Thursdays called Jam and Cram It.
Oh, yes.
I'm just a co-host, so I get to act a fool and leave whenever I want to. That's on from 7 to 9 p.m. as well, Love the Jam Radio, and you can check that out on the TuneIn app as well.
Yes. Well, thank you again for coming out. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching another episode of Let's Chat with Courtney Hall.
Had to grind, had to shine, had to work, had to eat.